Okay, I'm back. My husband was coming up the stairs and I knew he was going to open the door and talk to me or whatever. So I just shut the computer off, but I'm back. Shut my iPad off. So ignore the noise in the background. My neighbors are four-wheeling and it's a little bit noisy. And my son used to do it too when he was younger, but my son is older now and he still likes to four-wheel, but he's actually out. He's out right now. I think he's going dirt bike riding with some friends. I'm not really sure, but anyway, back to our conversation about retinols, okay? So you have to remember the industry that promotes these makes billions of dollars. If you think that they actually want to tell you the dark side of it, you would be mistaken, okay? Dermatology makes their money off their procedures and their treatments and all of the stuff that they do, okay? So, and the drugs that they sell, okay? They're not making money directly off the drugs that they sell, but if they didn't sell drugs, they wouldn't have a job. Okay, so you catch my drift. And ignoring cellular biology to push this idea of retinols and chemical peels and, all of this stuff is downright irresponsible. It's irresponsible. Okay, so what happens with retinols and other types of things like this, chemical exfoliants that are constantly causing your skin to do things at a much faster pace? It's like taking a hamster, sticking it in a wheel, and forcing it to run without resting. How long do you think it's going to live? It's going to die quicker, okay? So when you are causing your cells to work at a much faster pace instead of letting nature just go at the pace that nature has chosen, okay, for the million reasons or the trillion reasons, because everything in nature is based on homeostasis and survival. And now what's happening is with retinols and chemical exfoliants and all of these things, you are overriding this. You are literally putting in threat signals, threatening the cell, which causes the cell to react. And of course, you get some aesthetic benefit that you really like, but there is a very, very, very dark side here, okay? And again, it's not popular and it's not popularized because the industry is making billions of dollars off these people in the anti-aging movement. And if it really is causing long-term damage, it's going to lead you right into the whole cosmetic surgery world, okay? And all of the other things, all right? Botox and fillers and all sorts of stuff. So you can see that it's a very sick, sick, sick world. And I'm not a fan of peptides either. And the reason for that is peptides are based on the same concept of signaling. You are constantly bombarding your cells with high signaling molecules that the skin and the body would not normally have to come into contact with. So once again, you are basically forcing the cell to do what it would not normally do at a pace that it is not biologically programmed to do. And that is my default. I am always going back to that, okay? It's, do you want to work with the body to sustain for long term, or do you want to force it to get instant benefit, but yet that dark side is going to be there, okay? The damage underneath what you can see, okay, is still happening. That is like so common sense. I just can't believe that so many people fall for it. It's really mind-boggling to me, actually, because again, we all know what happens when you go against the natural program. You're throwing a monkey wrench, you're forcing the system to have to do things that it is not naturally and organically programmed to do. You're forcing it. You're forcing it, okay? And using retinols every day, I don't even care if it's at a low level, like over-the-counter stuff, you are still creating a situation where your body is in a constant state of having to deal with these signals that are threatening. It's poking the cell, telling it has to work harder, okay? That's not going to go well long term, all right? And then you have your telomeres, okay? And they know that what causes the telomeres to shorten is the more the cells have to work, the shorter these telomeres get, and that determines the life cycle of your cell, okay? And the more you shorten these, the life cycle of the cell diminishes. So if you are causing your cells to work harder than what nature wants, you are most likely, there's strong evidence to support this, that the telomeres are shortening. okay, shortening the cellular life of your cell, which could lead it to malfunction, could lead it to lose its ability to function optimally, and lead to all sorts of other problems down the road. So again, you may not notice it initially, because we all know the body has incredible adaptive mechanisms. And just because your body has adapted to something doesn't mean it's healthy. Okay? So retinol does not make your skin healthy. It's anti-nature. It's not what nature considers healthy. It's what estheticians and dermatologists consider healthy, which is looking just at the surface. They're not looking at the mitochondria of the cell in long term. How is this going to affect the functioning of your cells? So this is huge. And I could shout it from the rooftops and it's not going to make a difference. But if it makes a difference in just one person's life and they reconsider doing this, and again, I don't care what you do. I don't sell anything. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I just put videos out there and share what I know and share what I do. If you want to do it, great. If not, go do your thing. But I don't sell anything. I'm not selling supplements. I'm not selling products. I'm not selling anything. So I am not invested at all in what anybody does. Not at all. Not even in the slightest. Okay? So that should be obvious by now. But all of these people that have something to sell, they're invested in it. They're not trustworthy. People who are invested are not trustworthy. All right? If you are invested in something wholeheartedly, you're selling stuff, you're promoting stuff, you've built your business around it, you are not going to be telling the truth. You're not. Now, even as an herbalist, right? When I recommend medicine to people, they don't get it from me. Well, they might. Like, sometimes people need something before they can buy it. And they'll be like, can you please make me something until it? And I'll be like, okay. But I don't like to do that because I don't want to be that person. I don't want to tell you to use something because I'm going to give it to you or I'm going to sell it to you. I don't sell medicine. I have it because that's what we use, and I will help somebody out in a pinch. But I don't sell stuff because I don't ever want to be accused of having biased information. I try to give proper information so that people can make a really good decision. I've had to have this conversation with my daughter, explaining to her why she might not want to go down that path, and really explain it at a level that people have to really understand some cellular biology. And it's really sad that people just don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Because surface is not health. That has nothing to do with health. Nothing. That's just manipulating the surface, okay? And just because, you're increasing collagen, you're increasing fibroblasts, you're increasing the supple, whatever, it's like, yeah, it's a reaction to stress. It's a reaction to stress. And when it comes to, the hormetic response or hormesis or homeostasis, things are in this narrow band. But when you are forcing it to be ramped up at a level that nature never intended, you cannot expect there to be a backlash. You cannot expect nature to not kick your ass down the road. Because sometimes you don't experience it right away. And then all of a sudden the house of cards falls down, right? Oh, why me? Well, because you didn't engage your critical thinking. And this is where we're at. And the beauty industry is just full of it. Like bakuchiol. Like, I don't use bakuchiol. I'm totally opposed to bakuchiol as well. And it's the very same reason. They've isolated it. They've isolated it to do something that it doesn't do in nature. When you use babchi oil, it works slower. It works with your skin, supports your skin, doesn't necessarily speed your skin up to start doing all of this stuff without all of the other check valves, I guess, the checkpoints in place. It works as a supportive remedy. It's not forceful. It's not aggressive. Okay. And even low levels of retinol, some might say, well, it's gentle. No, it's still forcing your cells to do what they don't do naturally. Whereas when you use a natural remedy, it's actually helping the cell to repair. It's helping to keep the cell, actively working. You've got different chemicals in that remedy that are helping the cell to remove metabolic waste and all that stuff. It's actually enhancing the health. It is not forcing the cell to do stuff, and in the long run, diminishing the health of the cell. So it's very, very different. It's a very different mechanism by which it works. So this is where we're at. Natural remedies, because as long as you use them in appropriate doses, they're not forcing the body to do stuff the same way that the allopathic stuff is. Completely different. They work in two completely different ways, and what it does to the cell is completely different. What each one does to the cell is completely different. Okay, completely different. So there's a lot of things that I could talk about. I could go on and on and on. And again, I've been talking about this for years. I've been talking about it in all my skincare videos. Not all of them, but many of them. When I teach skincare classes, I always talk about this and help, people to understand what's really going on at the cellular level. Do you really want to be doing this? And of course, reminding people that wanting to look like something you're not is mental illness. And the more you fall prey to that means the more captured you've become. You are captured by this system. You're captured. They've got you exactly where they want you. You are a pawn on their chessboard. And they don't give a shit how many pawns get removed. They don't care. You're part of the game for them. Because the anti-aging, the beauty industry is $1 billion industry. They don't give a shit about you. All they care about is that you keep feeding the beast. Feed it, feed it, feed it, feed it. So when you take your power back, you're saying no to the anti-aging bullshit. You treat your skin gently and naturally so that you don't stress the fuck out of your skin, and you keep it functioning the way nature intended, and you just say no to their bullshit. Okay, no to their bullshit. Now I want to talk a little bit about aging and why nature slows down, and why nature does slow down the cellular turnover of our skin, and it slows down things in our body because it's trying to preserve your telomeres. Okay, it's trying to preserve your life, because if that pace of cellular turnover stayed active, it's going to shorten your telomeres, and eventually you're going to die sooner. Okay, so humans have the capacity to live well over 100 years old, well over 100. Okay, and if you fry out your telomeres early on, okay, you're not going to make it. So as we get older, we've gone through the reproductive stage, and we need a lot more energy when we're raising children. But as we get older, nature starts to slow that process down, and it starts to actually take that energy and keep it towards keeping our organs alive and keeping our body alive. It's not really so interested in this stuff anymore. And it goes back to that whole reproduction thing, right? It's just not so interested in what we look like anymore. So what it does is it conserves its energy. And now it goes within to keep the inner flame going, to keep our organs alive. It's not so interested in the exterior anymore. And it causes your skin to thicken up a little bit, which is going to protect it from the environment so that the skin doesn't have to work so hard protecting itself. Okay, that's why we lose the cellular turnover. It is a built-in survival response. So constantly trying to get rid of that, you are not doing yourself any favors, okay? That is why I very rarely exfoliate my body. I only do it when I start getting little bumps on my triceps, and then I'll exfoliate a little bit to keep that clear. But other than that, I do mild exfoliating on my face every day with a gentle washcloth. That is it. I don't do anything beyond that because I do not want to damage that outer protective layer. It's bad. It's bad news, okay? And again, when you're using retinols and your skin ends up a little thicker, that is a stress response. It is trying to fucking protect you from what you're doing to it. Your skin doesn't know any different. It just knows it's being assaulted. So now you're asking the layer of skin that has never had to do this before. All of a sudden it's performing two functions because you're destroying your stratum corneum. You're stressing the fuck out of your skin. Not a good idea. I'm just telling you from a biological and physiological perspective, it's not a good idea. And your skin's performance on the outside starts to change starts to slow down because those reserves are going to be turned internally, and it is going to protect those skin cells from frying out. So your body creates this thicker, horny layer as you get older. And of course, we start getting wrinkles and all of that because everything is getting slowed down a little bit, so that that energy that your body has is going to go to the more vital things. And whether or not you have a wrinkle is considered vital to your body. When it comes to survival, do you think nature cares if you have a fucking wrinkle or a gray hair? No. Your body is going to where it's most needed to keep you alive as long as possible. And I don't believe in the bullshit perspective that nature doesn't care if we live past reproduction. I don't believe that for one fucking second. I don't believe that for 1 second. People can live to be in the hundreds, like 120, 130. We're capable of living a long time. But when there's a lot of stuff going on in the body, your body tries to conserve as much as possible. So it's a huge topic, and I haven't even made a dent in it, okay? I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of information if you haven't watched some of my older videos that unfortunately are no longer there because I started to have a little meltdown one day and I thought I was going to leave my YouTube channel, so I just deleted everything. And then I left a video telling you guys that I was not going to do YouTube anymore, and I wanted to keep that video up, but I got rid of all the other ones because YouTube decided to go back into my stash and started striking my videos, and I thought I was going to lose my channel through YouTube taking it from me. So I decided to just wipe out my videos and leave a video that I was going to leave YouTube, but then I decided not to because a few of you reached out to me, and I'm kind of glad you did. Like, I'm glad you did because I do like being here. Even though I don't have a lot of subscribers, I do really enjoy being here. Even though I don't know you guys, the few of you that comment from time to time makes me feel connected to you, and I really love that. So I just wanted to put that out there. I wanted to talk about it again because I feel like I cannot push this enough. It's all part of the transhuman agenda, getting people to go against their biology, getting people into the anti-nature world where everything is synthetic, everything is fake, everything is not fucking real. Not fucking real. They get people afraid of aging. They get people afraid of dying. They get people afraid of every little fucking thing that is what makes us human. That's why it's called transhumanism. If you want to be a cyborg, go for it. But I will never willingly comply. Never. Never, ever, ever will I willingly comply. They want to take away everything that makes us human. They want us to be afraid of everything that makes us human. There is no perfect utopia. A world full of cyborgs and robots is not going to be utopia. You know why? Because the people programming it all are stupid as fuck. Let that sink in. Signing out.